Welcome to H2O Kids TV. I am Wanda Big Blazer, and here is the scoop. Have you ever been afraid to do something? Have you ever thought that you are too unqualified or unimportant to do something big for God? We are going to learn today about one guy who was afraid. Let's see if you can guess his name. His story involves a bush, a basket, and flies. Anyone? We're going to be learning about Moses today. Moses was born a Hebrew, one of God's people, but he was adopted into the royal family and ended up being the son of Pharaoh, the son of the daughter of Pharaoh. Anyways, Moses commits a crime because he sees that somebody, an Egyptian, is mistreating one of his people, a Hebrew. So he hightails it out of there. He actually flees Egypt. And while he's out in the wilderness, he encounters God. You're going to read a little bit in your Bibles with your leaders about how he encounters God. But basically, God tells him to go back to Egypt and tell Pharaoh, "Set my people free," because the Hebrews were enslaved by the Egyptians. Even though Moses was afraid and thought that he was not qualified, God used him to send 10 plagues throughout all of Egypt. Plagues were basically bad things that happened to the Egyptians, like lots of bugs, hail, water turning into blood, their livestock would die, and other really bad things for the Egyptians, but showed the Egyptians God's power. Eventually, Pharaoh did end up letting the Israelites go. And in a little bit, we're going to have you guys grab your Bibles and learn what happened next after that. So, grab your Bibles, we're going to pause the video, and you guys are going to learn a little bit more about Moses' story. So leaders, pause the video here, and we will meet back with you soon. And now, an interview on the field with our very own Moses.
Hello and welcome back to H2O Kids TV. I'm Finn and I'm here with. Care to introduce yourself? Sorry, I didn't catch that. Pardon?
Does that thing have to be looking right at me? Could you turn it off or something?
No. We need it for the interview.
Can we do this tomorrow or next week? I'm not ready.
But it says right here that you're scheduled to be interviewed at this time. It says it on the paper. With Mr. Oh, Moses. You're Moses. The Moses? That explains a lot then.
Explains what?
I mean, it's pretty common knowledge that you're not a fan of public speaking. Remember that time with the burning bush? Could you tell me a little bit more about that? What happened that day out in the desert?
Yes, it was on fire. But the strange thing was, the fire didn't burn up the bush. And then God spoke to me from the bush.
God spoke to you? What did he say?
He told me to go to Egypt and tell Pharaoh to let my people go free. Pharaoh had them enslaved, you see. So much happened. Pharaoh said we couldn't leave, and then we could leave. And then he said we couldn't leave, and then there were the plagues.
Was that when God turned the Nile River into blood, sent the flies and locusts, frogs, hail, things like that?
It was awful, Finn. But eventually Pharaoh let us leave. We hightailed it out of there, but then we found ourselves stuck on the banks of the Red Sea. Of course, Pharaoh changed his mind again and decided to chase us down. I mean, everyone was scared. I know a little something about being scared, let me tell you.
Yeah, I'd be scared too. What happened next?
Well, as I stood on the banks of the Red Sea, I remembered how scared I was. But there was something else God told me back by the burning bush on that holy ground.
What else did God tell you?
Well, he said that he would be with me. And he didn't promise me a roadmap or an easy road, but he promised that he would be with me. And I knew that he was with all of us there on the banks of the Red Sea, with the Egyptian soldiers rushing down on us. I told the people that God would fight for them. They only needed to be still.
And then what happened?
So here come the Egyptian soldiers, rushing down at us at top speed on their chariots. There's a massive, terrifying pillar of smoke that moves behind us, blocking the Egyptian forces. But the Red Sea still rages right before us, Finn. And then we wait. Then the Lord tells me to pick up my staff, like this. And suddenly, the waters part, and I can feel the spray on my face as these two gigantic walls of water appear on our right and on our left. And between them is a path of dry land. I almost don't believe it's happening until I take my first step onto the path. But it's true. We walk across on dry land and we escape the Egyptians. God is with us. He saves us.
That's incredible.
Hey, were you recording this the whole time? I told you I wasn't ready.
You did fine, Moses. That was an incredible tale of faith. In fact, I was wondering if you could answer just one more question for us.
Make it quick, we've got a desert to wander.
Yes, well, we've been asking all our big hitters the same question. What does the word faith mean to you?
Faith means, to me, taking that next step. Even if you don't know what's going to happen next. I knew God loved my people and was going to take care of them, but I didn't know how. But I trusted him, and I lifted my staff and stepped onto that dry ground in between the walls of the Red Sea.
So, faith is stepping out even if you don't quite know what's going to happen next?
Exactly.
Okay, thank you, Moses, for your time.
But I do know what's going to happen next if you keep filming me with that camera. Turn it off now, or I'm out of here.
But we're almost finished.
I'm uncomfortable. What's your viewership?
The kids of H2O Kids?
About how many H2O Kids show up every week?
I don't know. 30?
That's a lot. I'm uncomfortable.
Well, I'm sorry about that. Thank you, I guess, for joining us at H2O Kids TV. As always, I'm Finn. We'll see you next time.
You won't see me.
Wait, what? Moses.
Thank you for joining us for Big Hitters in the Old Testament. We will see you next week.
Faith is taking...